They told us the rotary engine died in the 90s, too inefficient, too unstable, impossible to revive. But what if it never failed at all? What if it was buried on purpose? Deep beneath Hiroshima, inside a sealed chamber hidden by shell companies and ghost tech grants, a team of Mazda engineers quietly brought it back to life. The project was called Re-erect. And at its heart was a spinning chamber, no pistons, no valves, no combustion noise. Not just reborn, rebuilt for war. In January, Mazda's CEO issued a chilling statement: the future will not be plugged in. The room laughed. But behind the scenes, testing had already begun. What they were building wasn't theoretical. It was real. A rotary-electric hybrid capable of traveling over 1,100 kilometers without touching the grid. Inside the vehicle sat a compact rotary generator, no larger than a coffee machine. It spun at 12,000 RPM, generating continuous electricity for an EV drivetrain. The fuel? Biosynthesized ethanol. The efficiency? A jaw-dropping 48.2%. Emissions? Almost zero. This wasn't just a return to combustion, it was a reset. Mazda had done the unthinkable. They built an EV that doesn't need the grid. No superchargers. No cobalt mines. No lithium dependency. Fuel you can grow. Energy on demand. Completely decentralized. In a 2022 patent filing buried inside Japan's National Archive, Mazda quietly registered a new architecture, MPHV1. A modular platform designed to work across cars, bikes, boats, drones, even aircraft. With one universal component, a rotary generator pod that can be swapped, upgraded, or recycled. And then it got geopolitical. A leaked memo from Japan's Ministry of Trade revealed over 180 billion yen in secret funding, channeled through an energy startup to back Re-erect. Why? Because in Japan's own words, electric vehicles aren't the endgame. Energy sovereignty is. Tesla is still building superchargers. Mazda is building machines that don't need them. While Western regulators pushed for stricter EV laws, Japan pivoted. The plan? Deploy rotary hybrids across Southeast Asia by 2027, completely bypassing grid infrastructure. Quietly, efficiently, permanently. Two European CEOs got a behind-closed-doors look at Mazda's working prototype at the Geneva Motor Show. Within weeks, one resigned. The other's battery firm was delisted. No statements. Just whispers. One phrase, rotary detonation. Toyota didn't wait. They licensed 4 core rotary patents from Mazda, including rotor cooling systems and hydrogen compression tech. Why? Because this engine is no longer just for cars. A newly declassified Japanese defense report lists rotary-electric microgenerators under UAV propulsion tech. These engines are airborne. In March, a strange aircraft was spotted off the Pacific. No exhaust. No jet noise. Just a high-pitched RPM whine and no thermal plume. It wasn't running on batteries. It ran on something Mazda engineers now call Type Z Pulse, a rotary-electric aviation system powered by pressurized ethanol hydrogen cooled with liquid nitrogen, operating in conditions batteries can't survive. Days after Type Z's patent surfaced, 2 drone firms, one in the US, one in Australia, abruptly cancelled their prototype testing. What they didn't disclose. They shared a critical supplier, Rotokinetics, an aviation lab Mazda had secretly acquired in 2021. In one move, Mazda absorbed the only rival team capable of building flight-grade rotaries. And just like that, the world fell a decade behind. Even Toyota's hydrogen division panicked. They redirected nearly a quarter of their R&D toward hybrid rotaries. The internal codename Operation H Override. The warning? If Mazda scales, we're not competing with Tesla, we're competing with Mazda for the sky. And here's where the oil industry enters the panic spiral. Because Mazda's rotary doesn't care what it burns. Ethanol, ammonia, methanol, synthetic jet fuel, it accepts all of it. No engine swap. Just reprogram the burn cycle. In field trials, the same unit ran continuously on 5 different fuels. Saudi Aramco responded by funding shadow labs for synthetic compatible microgenerators. But it might be too late. Mazda already partnered with 2 Japanese startups to mass-produce algae-based ethanol synthesizers. Containers that can turn food waste or air into fuel. Local. Cheap. Independent. And here's the knockout punch. Mazda's rotary generator has a lifespan of 11,000 hours between overhauls. 3 times longer than Tesla's lithium cells under real-world stress. No mining. No thermal runaway. No battery fires. Just a spinning rotor and a fuel line. Governments are scrambling. The European Commission quietly added a clause to EV subsidies, excluding rotary hybrids by 2029. In Washington, new EV tax credits subtly penalize vehicles with onboard generators. A front group suddenly emerged, Citizens for Clean Charge. Led by ex-Tesla execs. Funded by no one publicly. Meanwhile, Mazda made its final move. A container bound for India's largest auto expo was intercepted by customs with no explanation. Inside it, the RX HR1. Not a car, but a production-ready rotary-electric drivetrain rated for off-grid, high-altitude logistics. 5 days later, the prototype reappeared at a defense contractor site under military guard. India wasn't trying to catch up to Tesla. They were leapfrogging past it. Weeks later, Tata Motors signed a secret licensing deal. Vietnam joined forces to roll out ethanol fuel stations.